Morning, Noblesville. So it's our Monday morning video. These are going to be quick check-ins. So this week, if I don't have a large video that kind of works through a lot of these movements, I'm just going to kind of do these quick check-ins and give you some thoughts and give you some different things throughout the week. So today is going to be an overview of the week, generally speaking, okay? So first things first, go to the YouTube channel. Check out the video that we posted this morning. It is our first athlete interview with Katie Qualls, and it's an awesome interview. Gives you a lot of really awesome feedback, a lot of really awesome things to look at. She talks about overcoming some injuries that she had in her career. She talks about the college recruiting process. She talks about switching programs and just her general story. So it's a really awesome story. But go ahead and check that out. I've got a few more interviews that I've already recorded. So each week I'm going to start the week off by posting an interview. So I've already got some for the next upcoming weeks. And my goal is to keep interviewing different athletes as we go to always be able to share something with you from someone that might be able to give you a new perspective of our sport, or someone to give you some wisdom of someone that's been doing it for a while. So really excited about those videos. Go check that out today, and hope you enjoy that. This week, you're going to see in the workouts, we're going to start ramping up the cardio work. All right. And before we start talking too much about that, I want to go through the three categories that you're going to see me describe the type of cardio work I want you to do. So you have low aerobic, moderate, and then sprint. So very simple ways to describe the speeds at which I want you to work. So with the low aerobic stuff, that is something that keeps your heart rate really low. All right, so heart rate's never going to spike up too hard. The easiest way for me to describe that to you, unless you have if you have the Apple Watch, that's always going to be able to help keep your heart rate down lower. If you have like a Whoop band like I do, that's always something that you can see where your heart rate zone is at. But for those of you that don't have those things, the easiest way for you to keep track of if you are working in that low aerobic zone is, can you say a sentence? Can you hold a conversation while you're doing that work? So think if you're going for a really, really light jog where you're not pushing yourself at all, you're able to talk to the people around you. That's telling me that you're in that low aerobic zone. If you've swam in my training groups before, sometimes you maybe have heard me say to someone else, or I've said to you right when you touch the wall, I'll say the alphabet. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to figure out how many letters you can get in before you have to break and take a breath. So that is my way to make sure that we're in that low aerobic zone. If I tell you, say the alphabet, and you're like A, B, C, D, that tells me that you're working too hard. So anything that's low aerobic is going to be longer in duration, but should be a little easier to maintain. Moderate cardio work. So moderate is something in between that and your all-out effort. So if you've been in my training groups before, so the senior groups, some of the other groups, moderate is like overload sets. Okay, something where your heart is working pretty hard, but it's something you can sustain for somewhat of a long period of time. You might not be able to hold on to this for 45 minutes straight, but maybe 20 minutes, right? Definitely 15 minutes. So keeping that heart rate elevated, but not ever tipping over the scale to being too fast, but also not being too slow. This, you probably shouldn't be able to hold a conversation. This would be that broken alphabet, right? Something that is pretty difficult for you to be speaking to. And then the last cardio work we have is sprint. I don't worry about heart rate too much. I just want you going as fast and as hard as you can. Theoretically, your heart rate should spike up really, really high when you do these sprints. But then after you do them, they might drop down pretty quickly. But that sprint cardio work is going to be extremely high effort, but it's going to be for a lot shorter durations, a lot shorter distances. So throughout the week, that's what you're going to see layered into these workouts and layered into these days is this type of cardio work. And those are the three ways I want you to think about them. Use what you have available. Okay. Obviously the types of cardio work you have going on, check with your parents. If you're younger and you're in our program, make sure you talk with your parents about what is you can go do. I don't want you all go running around, without checking with your parents and saying, well, Coach Alex told me to, talk with your parents what's available. If you can go on a jog, you can go on a run. That's a great way to get that cardio work on. If you get on a bike and go on a bike ride, if you have a stationary bike at home, you can do that. If you have a treadmill or a Stairmaster, if you're lucky enough to have an endless pool in your backyard, which we all wish we had right now, you can use those things. But anything that gets your heart rate up is going to be available, even if you have to walk laps around your house because you don't want to be leaving your property. Do something, right? Do something to get yourself moving. That is how simple cardio is, and that's the beautiful thing about cardio. Anything that's getting your heart rate elevated, if you can sustain it there, you're going to be getting that work in, and that's the beautiful thing, right? At the end of the day, when you talk about cardiovascular training, your body, your heart, your neurological system isn't going to be able to differentiate very well what cardio work you're doing on land running compared to what cardio work you're doing in the pool swimming. So that's why we're starting to ramp this up this week. We want to start building the aerobic and the cardiovascular base. So starting those things and being able to get the heart pumping a little bit can at least jumpstart our time while we're not in the water and get you guys a little better prepared for when we do jump back in. So also with the workouts, like I always say, use the tools around you. You don't need weights. I know in a lot of the demonstrations that I show, I have a kettlebell, and I use that kettlebell for anything that I'm doing weighted. If you have dumbbells at home, that's perfect. If you don't have any weight equipment, no big deal. Grab a bag of flour. Even if you're a 10-year-old in our program and you want to use something, just hold a water bottle. There's a lot of things around the house that you can do these movements with. So just be creative and see what you have lying around to at least help you with those movements. All right. Tomorrow is going to be a lower body focus day. Thursday is going to be a upper and total body focus day. The videos I'm going to post, I'm going to send to the seniors, the kind of the overall senior workout for those 2 days. And then on those days, I'm going to send out videos and variations that the age group swimmers can do. So keeping you guys active, doing some demonstrations so you can learn some of those movements the seniors are doing as well. For those new seniors that are kind of the incoming seniors that might not know all the movements, those videos that I create might show some of those exercises as well. So those will be really good for you to take part in. Other than that, today, pretty simple. Watch Katie's video, and then at some point today on the plan is just 40 to 60 minutes of low aerobic work. So anything you can do to get out there and just kind of work in that low aerobic land, that's all you got to do for today. And then we'll gear up for the rest of the week and get going. So I'm planning on going on about an hour bike ride today. Whatever you guys are planning, I hope that you guys get that in. So make sure you're also reaching out to your teammates, checking in on them. It was kind of neat yesterday recording some of these videos and talking to these swimmers that I've had in the past and getting to see some faces. And I know throughout the week, I'd always check in with some other coaches and especially from coaches from around the United States. I have some friends that are in some of the areas that are being hit really hard by all this, and it's interesting to hear their perspective and gives you a lot to think about. So hopefully you guys are helping each other out and reaching out to one another and checking in with one another. So I will see you guys tomorrow with the lower body stuff. Until then, enjoy your workout today and stay happy and healthy.